Hello Curious Cubs. Welcome back to another exciting science adventure on Curious Cub. Get ready to travel across the night sky and discover some of its greatest secrets. Have you ever looked up at the stars and wondered what they really are? Or noticed that some stars seem to form shapes and patterns? Can stars tell stories? Can they help people find their way? Let's find out. Tonight, we're exploring the amazing world of stars and constellations. When we look at the night sky, we can see thousands of tiny shining dots. These shining dots are called stars. But stars are much more than tiny lights. Stars are giant balls of extremely hot gases. They produce enormous amounts of heat and light. Deep inside every star, powerful reactions create energy that shines across space. In fact, stars are so bright that they can be seen from millions or even billions of kilometers away. Now here's a surprising fact. The sun is also a star. Yes, the bright sun that lights up our days is actually our nearest star. It may look much bigger than other stars, but that's only because it is much closer to Earth. The other stars are incredibly far away. That's why they appear as tiny sparkling dots in the night sky. Imagine a flashlight right next to you and another flashlight many kilometers away. The distant flashlight would look much smaller. The same thing happens with stars. Now let's learn about something even more fascinating. Constellations. Long ago, people noticed that some stars seemed to form patterns in the sky. They imagined these patterns as animals, heroes, objects, and mythical creatures. These groups of stars are called constellations. A constellation is simply a pattern of stars that people recognize and give a name to. The stars in a constellation may not actually be close to each other in space. They only appear connected when viewed from Earth. Thousands of years ago, before maps, GPS, or smartphones existed, people carefully observed the night sky. They used constellations to understand the seasons, tell stories, and find directions. Ancient civilizations around the world created their own constellations and legends. Even today, many of those constellation names are still used by astronomers. Let's look at some famous constellations. One of the most famous constellations is Orion. Orion is often called the Hunter. It can be recognized by three bright stars that form a straight line in the middle. These stars are known as Orion's belt. Orion is one of the easiest constellations to spot in the night sky. Another famous constellation is Ursa Major. Ursa Major means Great Bear. Part of this constellation forms a pattern known as the Big Dipper. The Big Dipper is very useful because it helps people locate the North Star. For centuries, travelers and sailors used it to find direction. Now let's meet Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is easy to recognize because it forms a large W shape in the sky. Many people use this constellation to help identify other stars and constellations nearby. These beautiful patterns have helped humans understand the sky for thousands of years. But constellations were not only used for stories. They were also important tools. Ancient sailors sailing across oceans used stars to navigate. Travelers crossing deserts looked to the night sky for guidance. Farmers watched constellations to know when seasons were changing and when crops should be planted. Before modern technology, the stars were like a giant map in the sky. Today, scientists continue studying stars using powerful telescopes and observatories. By observing stars, astronomers learn about the universe, galaxies, planets, and even how stars are born and die. Every star has a story to tell, and every night sky is filled with wonders waiting to be explored. Now it's time for our grand quiz. What is the name of our nearest star? A. Sirius, B. Polaris, C. Sun, D. Orion. Think carefully. 3, 2, 1. And the correct answer is C. Sun. Fantastic job, Curious Cubs. Today we learned that stars are giant balls of hot gases that produce their own light and energy. We discovered that the sun is our nearest star. We learned that constellations are patterns of stars that people have recognized for thousands of years. And we explored how ancient people used stars to travel, navigate, and understand the world around them. The next time you look up at the night sky, remember that every shining star has its own story. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep discovering the amazing wonders of science. See you in the next adventure on Curious Cub. Goodbye, explorers.